In certain corners of the world, time hasn't just passed, it's stopped cold. In France's Limousin region, a landscape of gentle hills and quiet fields hides a wound that never healed. Oradour-sur-Glane stands as a silent witness to one of the darkest days of World War II, its streets echoing with memories of a vanished community. The village was preserved exactly as it was left on June 10, 1944, a living museum of loss. Rusted cars still sit where they stopped, their metal frames slowly succumbing to time and weather. Children's toys, scorched and broken, lie scattered in the dust, reminders of lives interrupted. These are not staged relics, but the real remnants of a community wiped out in a single afternoon. On that day, the village bustled with ordinary life. Children at play, shopkeepers arranging their wares, families preparing for lunch. The tragedy began when a German Waffen-SS unit seeking retribution mistakenly targeted Oradour-sur-Glane instead of another village. Soldiers arrived after midday, rounding up every resident. The villagers, confused and frightened, were told it was just an identity check. No one suspected the horror to come. Men were herded into barns and sheds, women and children over 400 were forced into the church. The church, once a place of sanctuary, became a trap. Survivors later recalled the confusion and terror as the doors were locked behind them. The men were shot and burned alive as the barns were set ablaze. In the church, soldiers ignited smoke bombs and barred the doors, trapping everyone inside. Flames and gunfire filled the air. Mothers shielded their children, desperate to find escape as smoke thickened and panic spread. Marguerite Ruffanche, wounded but determined, managed to escape through a sacristy window and hid among the rows of peas in a nearby garden until nightfall. Her testimony would later reveal the full horror of what happened inside the church, and her words remain etched in the memory of Oradour. In total, 642 people were murdered, the youngest just a week old. The massacre left only a handful of survivors, those who happened to be away that day, or who managed to hide in the chaos. In the aftermath, the ruins stood as a graveyard, personal belongings scattered among the ashes, the air heavy with grief and disbelief. After the war, Charles de Gaulle ordered Oradour-sur-Glane never be rebuilt, preserving it as a village martyr. The French government declared the site sacred, a permanent memorial to the innocent lives lost and a warning to future generations. Today, the silence is broken only by the wind and footsteps on gravel. Visitors walk the empty streets, pausing to read the names on memorials and to reflect on the enormity of the loss. The doctor's car still sits in the square, shop signs remain, and the schoolhouse's chalkboards bear the last lesson. The names of murdered children are inscribed on a plaque, a roll call of innocence lost. Each year, families and dignitaries gather to lay flowers and remember, ensuring the victims are never forgotten. Oradour-sur-Glane is more than a historical site. It's a warning about how quickly civilization can unravel. The ruins are maintained, not restored, so that the scars of violence remain visible, a testament to the fragility of peace. For many, a visit to Oradour is a pilgrimage, a confrontation with the past, and a vow to resist hatred in all its forms. Walking these streets, the past is not just remembered, it's present. The town is a place of perpetual mourning, a ghost that refuses to fade. The silence is heavy, broken only by the sound of wind through empty doorways and the distant echo of church bells. It forces us to confront the depths of human cruelty. Oradour is a stark reminder, what we build can be unmade in an instant. Yet, in its ruins, there is also a call to compassion, a plea to remember to teach and to never allow such darkness to return. Here, the silence is heavy with stories that must never be forgotten. This is the cost of hatred preserved in stone and ash. In Spain's Aragon region, two towns share the name Belchite, one alive, one a ruin. But before the war, Old Belchite was a vibrant place, its streets echoing with laughter, church bells, and the bustle of daily life. Families gathered in cafes, children played in the dusty plazas, and olive groves stretched to the horizon. The town was known for its festivals, its music, and the warmth of its people. But in 1937, the Spanish Civil War arrived, and everything changed. The Battle of Belchite raged for 2 weeks, turning neighbors into enemies and homes into targets. The sound of artillery thundered day and night, shattering centuries-old buildings and the lives within them. The old Belchite is a skeleton, left as a monument to the Spanish Civil War's brutality. The ruins stand as silent witnesses, their walls pocked with bullet holes, their churches open to the sky. Civilians hid in cellars as the world collapsed above them. Some clung to hope, others to each other as the fighting raged overhead. In 1937, a fierce two-week battle left the town in ruins. The streets became kill zones, echoing with gunfire and the cries of the wounded. Families were separated, and the town's ancient stones absorbed the chaos of war. When the dust settled, Belchite was unrecognizable. Survivors emerged from the rubble, dazed and grieving, searching for loved ones and remnants of their former lives. Franco ordered the ruins preserved as a living monument, a warning and a propaganda tool. The new Belchite was built nearby, but the old town was left to the elements. Its bullet-pocked walls and collapsed churches became a symbol of suffering for all Spaniards. Today, walking through the ruins is like stepping into a black-and-white photograph of war. The silence is broken only by birds and the wind through empty windows. The convent of San Agustin, its dome gone, still exudes a violated sanctity. The church bells are silent, but their memory lingers in the air. Unlike Oradour's sudden destruction, Belchite died slowly, its agony etched in stone. Life continues in the new town, always in the shadow of the old. Children play in modern streets, but the ruins loom on the horizon, a constant reminder of the past. The ruins are a pilgrimage site, a place where guides lead visitors through dangerous streets, telling stories of battle and loss. Some visitors come to honor ancestors, others to learn, and some to photograph the haunting beauty of shattered arches and sun-bleached stones. Franco's propaganda has faded. Now Belchite stands as a testament to the futility of civil war. The wind carries whispers of the past, a warning about the cost of hatred. The stones remember, even if the world moves on. Belchite's message is clear: never again. In the quiet corners of Belchite, wildflowers grow between the stones, and the sun sets over broken walls. The town is both a grave and a garden, a place where memory and hope coexist. Each year, survivors and descendants gather to remember, lighting candles and sharing stories so that the tragedy is never forgotten. Belchite is more than a ruin. It is a lesson carved in stone, a place where the past is always present, and where the silence speaks louder than words. On a clay-rich hill in southern Italy, the ghost town of Craco rises above the valley, its stone towers and crumbling walls silhouetted against the sky. Once this was a place of laughter and life. Farmers tended olive groves, children played in narrow alleys, and bells rang from the Norman tower. Craco's roots stretch back to the 8th century. Over centuries, it survived plagues, invasions, and earthquakes, its people rebuilding after every blow. Its houses, built of pale stone, seemed to grow from the hillside itself, blending with the land that both sheltered and doomed them. The town's heart was the mother church, its bell tower a beacon for miles. Markets filled the main square, and families gathered for festivals beneath the watchful gaze of the castle. Craco's fate was sealed by nature. Landslides, triggered by heavy rains and earthquakes, began to tear the town apart. Walls cracked, streets buckled, and fear crept into every home. Landslides in the 1960s tore the town apart, forcing a slow-motion evacuation. Families packed their belongings, leaving behind generations of memories. Some wept as they locked their doors for the last time, knowing they would never return. Residents watched as their homes became uninhabitable, the earth literally slipping away. By the 1970s, only a handful of stubborn souls remained, clinging to the hope that Craco could be saved. But the ground kept moving, and the exodus continued. By 1980, everyone had relocated to the valley below, leaving behind a perfectly preserved ruin. Today, Craco stands empty, its windows staring like hollow eyes over the valley. Wildflowers bloom in the cracks, and lizards dart through sunlit ruins. Craco's demise was gradual, a creeping catastrophe rather than a sudden disaster. The silence here is different from war-torn ruins. It is the hush of nature reclaiming what was built, the slow erasure of human ambition by wind and rain. Today, the town is a hollow shell, collapsed roofs, dust-covered belongings, frescoes fading in the sun. In abandoned kitchens, plates still rest on tables. A child's shoe lies in the dust. The echoes of daily life linger, fragile and haunting. The Norman Tower and the gutted Mother Church still stand, silent sentinels over the ruins. Local legend says the tower is haunted by the spirit of a medieval lord, doomed to wander the ramparts as long as the town stands empty. Craco's haunting beauty has made it a favorite for filmmakers. Its dramatic skyline has appeared in movies like The Passion of the Christ and Quantum of Solace. Its empty streets transformed into ancient Jerusalem or a post-apocalyptic wasteland. But visiting requires a guide and a hard hat. The ground is still unstable. Tourists come from around the world, drawn by the mystery and melancholy of Craco. They walk carefully, listening to the wind and the distant call of birds. The silence is absolute, amplifying the sense of abandonment. For those who once called Craco home, the pain of exile lingers. Some return each year to light candles in the church, to remember weddings, baptisms, and lost loved ones. Here you feel the immense power of geological time, a force that dwarfs human ambition. The stones of Craco have witnessed 1,000 years of hope and heartbreak. Now, they crumble slowly, returning to the earth. Craco is a monument not to conflict, but to our fragile relationship with nature. The town fought gravity for 1,000 years, and lost. Its empty streets are a testament to impermanence. In the golden light of evening, Craco glows with a strange beauty. The past feels close here, as if the town is waiting for its people to return. In Craco, the earth itself is the final victor. The lesson of Craco is written in stone and silence. Nature endures, and memory survives in the places we leave behind. These towns, though silenced, still speak. Oradour's scorched stones, Belchite's bullet-riddled walls, Craco's crumbling slopes, all tell stories of loss and memory. They are more than ruins. They are classrooms of history and empathy. Preserved in decay, they warn us against violence and remind us of our place in the world. The silence here is a message, one we must listen to. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications for more real places where time stopped and terror took hold. And remember, sometimes it's not the living who haunt a place. Sometimes the place haunts itself.